Read as a first chair.
Okay. Thank you very much for coming today. I wanted to let you know that we are going to record today's meeting.
Okay.
So today is November 11th, and it is a little after 8:30. Present at this meeting today is Priscilla Samuelson, speech language pathologist, Allison Reynolds, Director for Human Resources, and Michelle Martella, Executive Director for Special Education Services. Okay, so I have prepared 2 documents to share with you today, and I wanted to come together today to talk about some concerns that are presenting with your communication and behavior, and create directives again for what that looks like going forward. Okay, so I have some serious concerns about how other folks are being entangled in writing or how we're interacting in situations. So I'm going to read these documents with you today, and I want to ask that you listen. You'll have an opportunity to respond, and then you have them in writing in front of you so that we can go over them together. At the end, you'll have an opportunity to sign that you've received the documents. It doesn't indicate that you agree with the documents. Okay, so the first one, and I would want to say that the expectation is that you will comply with the expectations of the directives given to you as your supervisor, whether you agree with them or whether you like them. Okay, so the first one, you should have the one that says memorandum, and it has a date of November 10th, and this is I'm giving corrective feedback today in regards to your communication. You have been writing and stating things written and verbally that are unprofessional and inappropriate in spite of guidance that has been given to you in regards to that your concerns should come to myself as your supervisor or Allison Reynolds. You continue to express dissatisfaction and unhappiness with your colleagues and individuals employed with the district. The people that you're expressing your concerns to don't have authority to make decisions that you're asking them to do.
The principal doesn't have authority.
The principal does not have authority for the special education itinerant staff on this campus. No, he's not your supervisor. I am.
I don't know. I've had Mr. Mays tell me before, stop talking to HR, you need to talk to Mr. Deloche. He's your immediate direct person.
So what
that
we're gonna
you
do
talk
first,
to.
she's gonna review all this, and then if you wanna make notes on your paper, then we'll go back and answer any questions that you have. But we're first gonna review all of this first, okay?
So on October 8th, you met with Ms. Reynolds and I, and we went over, I don't have a pen, sorry.
Okay, I can start.
I need a highlighter too.
You got both.
So on October 8th, you were invited to a meeting with Mrs. Reynolds and I, and that meeting was for me to clearly state that I was your supervisor and that concerns should come to me. Concerns about your employment, concerns about your role, needs for support and resources, and any employee conflict. That's what we talked about that day. After that meeting, you continued to engage Armando Maisi in making complaints about the occupational therapist. You made requests.
Well, I emailed to you too, not just Armando.
Make a
So
note, please.
go ahead and highlight that.
I'm gonna respond.
That's
You
great. You're gonna-
absolutely can respond.
I'm gonna respond because I didn't just email him, I emailed you too.
Okay, so you have also made verbal requests to Mr. Deloche about, and showed Mr. Deloche a video of the employee at the elementary school. You have, I have sent you additional correspondence asking you to talk to me first, to us first, independent of other.
I don't remember getting that email.
I have the email, I can
Okay.
present it to you.
Okay, thank you.
And then on the 9th, you called Linda Trevino, and you first.
I didn't call her, she called me.
Okay, so then you said that you were not willing to participate as the SLP, and then you followed up an email and said that you would do the evaluation, you just wouldn't do it with the occupational therapist.
Yes, because it's a conflict of interest, considering she attacked my child, my 3-year-old child, and my husband. And I have it on video recording if you want to see that.
Mrs. Danielson, we have asked you to please listen in to what I'm presenting to you respectfully, and then you'll have an opportunity to respond.
Okay.
So then on yesterday, there were 2 emails that you forwarded to Mr. Deloach and to Meredith Pappas after I had asked you to cease and desist talking to other people about the
Because I don't feel
situation.
comfortable being here. That's
Okay.
why I don't feel
Please just
comfortable
listen.
being here.
Okay.
So, I gave you directives to cease correspondence regarding employee concerns, and you violated that. You've also filed a grievance with the academic dean. At that point, you went directly to Mr. Armando about that concern. Going forward, your concerns for workplace, in the working conditions and folks who work alongside you, those are going to come to me first as your supervisor. So complaints, grievances come to me, and then Allison and I will, it may go to Armando, it may go to a different appropriate administrator, but at this point, your complaints and grievances come exclusively to me. If you have a concern with myself or Ms. Reynolds, at that point, you can create a grievance, and that would go to Mr. Maisi directly. So on the second page, there is, this is the areas where you have disregarded guidance. So I'm again directing you, you need to stop talking about Lindsay Satop with any other employee other than myself or Allison Reynolds.
Okay.
You need to direct all your concerns for your role as a speech language pathologist, any needs you have, any conflict with employees, those come to Allison and I. Any complaints that are not resolved with communication with Mrs. Reynolds and I, you may do a formal grievance for that after you have attempted to negotiate that with us, and I need you to demonstrate professional behavior and collaboration with all employees. So the rest of this would say that as an employee, you are expected to model the district standards, code of conduct, follow all the policies and procedures. You must comply with these directives. Any violation of compliance with these directives can lead to serious employment consequences. And then a copy of this memo will be placed in your employment record. So the rest of this correspondence basically says that we're asking you to sign this today, not that you agree, but that you received it. So do you have questions about this particular memo?
Well, going back to everything that I stated, I did email you first and foremost, and I let you know my concern, and you said that there is no reason why me and Ms. Sadoff should not be working with each other, and then Mr. Mays agreed to that after you responded. So I did go to you first, and I did email you, and you did disregard my concerns, which is, I don't know, very concerning considering that this lady has no problem yelling at me an entire room of kindergarten students. She had no problem doing that. Like, she can do whatever she wants and she doesn't care. And then she attacked my husband with like 6 weeks ago. You're right, at the elementary school. I'm not there, so why is she doing that? What makes her think that she can attack my husband and my 3-year-old daughter? What gives her the right to do so?
Okay, so I'm gonna address the first statement that you said, that she yelled at you in a kindergarten classroom. From my understanding and hearing about all this, and then our conversation that we had the first time we met in the board conference room, we briefly discussed what occurred. And my understanding was that that issue was basically resolved.
It wasn't resolved.
Because there was no findings of anything other than just both of y'all inappropriately working together.
No, I never did anything to her.
Okay, please let me talk. Then you filed agreements on the work atmosphere at Garden Ridge. There was an investigation completed, and basically the findings of that investigation said there's nothing that constitutes you two not working together.
Well, actually, the
I'm not done
investigations continued. It's
So
continued.
then our
Investigation completed, the
expectations
grievance is
for
ongoing.
all employees here in Comal is if there is an issue, we resolve it, right? And so from my understanding is that we resolved the issue, we did our investigation. Is there possibly a, you don't like her, issue? Absolutely. But as professionals, we're here to do what's best for kids, evaluate them, and work together if we like the person we work with or not. So that is our expectation moving forward, is that if you cross pass, if you do this, it's gonna happen. We work in the same district, but if there's anything unprofessional said, then that's something that you need to report to us. But interactions, are you going to work on the same students? There's a chance. There's absolutely a chance. But there's nothing in writing or nothing that has been directed that y'all cannot work in the same case on a student with two different sets of evaluations.
Yeah, that's what Miss Martella told me. That when I first went to her first and no one else, that's the first response she gave me. However, I disagree with that because I'm still going through a level 3. It's still continuing. I'm gonna go through my level 3 grievance next week, in fact.
But the remedy that you were seeking in your grievance is not meant to work with Lindsay Satoff. It's a different request.
It's common sense. Why did I leave Garden Ridge? Why? What was the purpose?
You requested a part-time position and we've created an
Yes,
option where we
because
have
I said I
part-time.
couldn't do this anymore. I said I didn't want to be in that environment anymore. I literally left that school for that purpose because I did not want to be in a hostile environment anymore. Miss Sadoff, she has been continuously attacking me all last year, different things, you know, and I reported it immediately to my supervisor. I reported to the assistant principal. I reported to the principal. Nothing was ever really done. And, you know, I expected better from them and nothing happened. She just continued attacking me here and there, here and there. And why? Why would she go after my husband and my daughter? Why would she do that if everything was fine? Can you explain that to me?
My understanding from the log that I have from Heather Van Houten is that this issue has been thoroughly explored. There was a meeting where it was mitigated, there was apologies made, and we moved forward. In regards to Mrs. Satoff and your interaction at Davenport, what I stated in the email is if there's any current conflict or unprofessional behavior on her behalf or any other employee to let me know. So we're talking about you and Mrs. Satoff at Davenport High School. I said there's nothing in writing that precludes you from having proximity. Your original email was we crossed paths. It's not a reason for me to move someone off campus, is that you crossed paths.
No, because at some point it's going to be more than crossing paths, which is exactly what happened. Because now they're asking me to work with her in a room for an hour or longer, and that's not a smart thing to do. Considering
Tell
she
me
attacked.
Tell me why that's not, why y'all couldn't collaborate professionally.
Because she attacked my 3-year-old daughter. You want to see the video?
No, I do not want to see the video.
Why?
Because I understand the interaction was opening the door in the
No. She set him up. She said, "Here, come with me. Her class is in the cafeteria. Come with me." So he followed her. He didn't even know who she was. He had no idea who she was, because he's never seen her before. And he listened to her. She opened the door, and then she opened the second door, and actually she blocked the front door where he wasn't even allowed to go into the front office, where he always goes all the time before that. And she opened both doors, let him in, told him where to go. Then she ran to the front office and she starts pointing, saying, "I don't know, he's over there. He's not supposed to be over there. Go say something." And so Miss Kimberly Flanagan goes, tells him, "Oh, you're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to do that."
So you
Reprimands
understanding
him.
that there is a grievance filed for that.
There is.
So that has nothing to do with what we are talking about right now.
Because she can go after my daughter, and she has no problem doing that.
Did she speak to your daughter?
My husband was holding her in the arms, and it was about my daughter in the Pegasus program.
Okay, what I'm asking, because I'm asking clarifying questions. I don't know.
Okay, that's why I wanted to show you the
Did
video.
she ask? Did she threaten? Did she
She
threaten?
set him up. She set him up. because she knew that he was gonna get in trouble.
You
She
said
told,
attack.
she,
So I'm
that's the
trying
same
to
thing.
understand your words attack,
Yes.
because to me, attack means physically or verbally
Verbally.
attacked.
Verbally,
Okay.
and try to, because she doesn't want my daughter there. She told me at the end of last year, I go, yeah, I was trying to be nice to her. I was like, yeah, I'm trying to get my daughter into the Pegasus program because she's at Morningside and I would like her to be at Garden Ridge because it's a really great program. I know all the teachers there. They're really sweet. They're really nice. And she was like, oh, she's not going to get in. That's what she told me. She goes, she's not going to get in. And she didn't get in.
What I do
She
want to
didn't.
refocus on
Yes.
today is your communication about your concerns. This would be an appropriate venue to schedule an appointment and talk through conflict mediation and next steps. One piece of this story that, looking at this as your supervisor, is that even last year at Garden Ridge, you continued to serve that employee's child. So there was still opportunity for collaboration and trust. So I was thinking there was a reset and we had moved forward.
I was working with her child the year before that too. I've always worked with her child.
But
There was no
she
reason for
didn't
me.
make a request for you to be removed from that, so there was still collegial
Yes,
communication
because
and
that's the way
collaboration.
she is. She tries to act like everything's fine, and then she's not. She's not fine. Because if she was, why did she set up my husband and my daughter? Because she doesn't want her there.
So the grievance filed for that situation it's under review and investigation. What we're here today is that you were telling that story to the LSSP, you're telling that story to Matt Deloach, you're telling that story to Meredith Pappas. They don't have authority. When you're asking Glenda Trevino to get a different speech or OT to do the evaluation, she doesn't have the authority to do that.
It's very confusing when you guys tell me last year that me going to my principal and my assistant principal and my supervisor, oh, it's not timeliness. I shouldn't have just went to them. I should have went to HR first. And why didn't I go to HR? Well, now I'm doing it the way y'all want me to do it. I'm going straight to the principal because it's his campus and he should know what's going on. He should be aware. He shouldn't be blindsided. He should know because it's his campus.
Okay, so let's talk about that because I think this is where there's some considerable confusion. You are, and I know you referenced in your email this calendar that has the list of evaluation and itinerant personnel.
Mm-hmm.
And you referenced that the OTs are district and that you're assigned to Davenport.
Mm-hmm.
What I want to reflect that is on the next page, the additional itinerant staff, you can see that all of the OTs are assigned to campuses. Speech, OT, PT, teachers of the visually impaired, auditory impaired, they are district personnel. They are itinerant, they evaluate and they provide student therapy services, related service or instructional services. You are a district employee. Matt Deloach is not your supervisor. I am. He does not have the authority for which OTs, which speech, which teachers of the visually impaired come to serve the children on his campus. He has the authority to hire his teachers. He has the authority to supervise those individuals. And certainly you have a collegial relationship, helping you find space, all of the things you've described before where there were concerns, where you didn't feel like you had an appropriate therapy space. Those things would be under his purview. Who works on his campus from the Department of Special Education is not under his authority. So I know you're wanting to bring him in for that decision, but it is not his decision.
Well, I also let Meredith Pappas knows, and she is part of special ed, because she stands in the meetings and the ARDs
She's
for
not
special
part of
ed.
special ed, she's a campus administrator. She may be as the campus administrator, she may be facilitating an ARD, she may be acting as the administrator for that IEP meeting, but she's not special ed. She's a district administrator.
I don't know, I've always had, last year I had Miss Hardy, and she was directly involved in everything special ed, and that's all she did.
Ms. Hardy is an assistant principal that has a special ed focus. She has other duties as well, but she has a focus of special ed. She is a part of the campus administration structure. She's not a district special ed employee. She's a district administrator.
Okay, well, I figured since she did special ed, and I figured since Miss Meredith Pappas did special ed, it was something that they were involved in, especially considering, just recently Miss Sadoff had no reason to do what she did, and she did it. I wasn't even there. Like, how does that even involve me?
This is where I think there is some confusion, where you continue to communicate with the wrong people who do not have authority. And that's why I'm
Well,
directing
I
you to bring
feel-
your concerns
and
to
I
me
will,
as your supervisor.
and I did. And I did bring my concerns and you ignored them. You said it didn't matter.
Responded.
You didn't matter is what you said, that I can continue. That's what you're saying now. And it does matter. She attacked my 3-year-old daughter.
She did not.
3-year-old daughter.
She did not.
Yes, she did.
Mrs.
Yes, she
Samuelson,
did.
you're gonna have to
No.
bring your tone
No.
down.
You need to
No,
understand
you need to
that
be
she
professional.
attacked, and I will, but I will not work with that lady. She's a horrible person. She yelled at me in the entire classroom of kindergarten students. She can do whatever she wants. Why is she still even working at this district? She's disrespectful. She thinks she can do whatever she wants.
We
So
focus.
I've heard you, and
No, I don't think you have heard me.
and in the email where I had shared that there was not a written reason that the two of you could not collaborate going forward and expected professional communication, I also reminded you that I was your supervisor and you were to bring the concerns to me, and if you wanted to meet, we could do that. And so if you want to
And
schedule
you're still telling me the same thing though. You're telling me the same thing, that it doesn't matter. It
I'm
hasn't
telling you the
changed.
communication about the
It
matter
hasn't
has to
changed.
change.
No, because first of all, the principal is there to protect me. Someone needs to protect me because you're not doing it. You don't care about my daughter. You don't care if
Mrs.
they're
Samuelson,
attacking
you're
me.
gonna have to bring your, do you wanna take a 5-minute recess and regain composure?
I'm not signing anything. I'm gonna talk to a lawyer and then I'll decide if I can sign it or not.
Okay.
Because I can't do that right now, especially since you don't care about my family.
If you wanna have a
Yeah.
separate meeting about the relationship with the OT and collaboration, we can do that. Today, I'm giving you feedback that you have to stop communicating with other individuals.
Where does it say that in the bylaws? Show me. Show me where it says I cannot talk about someone who's attacking me. Show me.
I
If
can
there's
show
nothing
you-
wrong with what she did, there's nothing wrong with what she did attacking my family, then why can't I show the video? There's nothing wrong with it. She did
Because
nothing
you
wrong.
have- Because
She
you
did
were
nothing
being
wrong.
directed by your supervisor to share those concerns
Show me.
with me.
Show me where it
It's-
says I am not allowed to speak
Okay,
my
How you're
truth.
speaking right now is extremely inappropriate.
Well, a
This
lot of
is,
things are
I am
inappropriate.
not done
Her
talking.
attacking my family is inappropriate.
I'm-
Her still being employed is
We are
inappropriate.
speaking about you right now.
Yes, that is
Okay.
part of me.
So what I
My
am
child is
telling
me.
you
That's
is you
me.
are being extremely disrespectful to Miss Martella right now. So if you would like to continue
I let
this
her
meeting,
know. I told
No.
her.
if you would like to
I
continue
emailed
this
her.
meeting, you are gonna conduct yourself in a manner that is professional. If you do not feel like you can do that, then we can table this, and you can read on that second page, it says you do not have to agree with what the directives are in this communication in this memo. All that is signing is saying that you received this document. But moving forward, if you continue to be disrespectful or raise your voice, we will table it.
That's fine.
Because that will just be an example of how you're conducting yourself in an unprofessional manner. This is your warning. We are giving you a chance to talk, but it's gonna be in a professional manner. Do we understand each other?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll state again that your supervisor can exclude you from talking about other employees to other employees. You're not allowed to make disparaging comments to others who do not have authority to provide the remedy. You have an informal process with,
Show me where it says that.
I'll be happy to get you a copy of the employee handbook.
No, I want it
And the board
highlighted.
policy.
I want to know where it says that.
I'd be happy to provide that for you.
Thank you.
You are also receiving written guidance from your supervisor to stop talking to other people about other employees. No employee has the right to talk about other employees, except to their supervisor or through an informal or formal process, and a formal process meaning a grievance. So that's the remedies that you have.
I'm still going through a
understand.
grievance. It's not completed. It's not done.
But that doesn't mean that you're talking to Matt Deloach or Meredith Pappas or Glenda Trevino about this dynamic. They do
It
not
has
have the
nothing to do
authority of the
with it.
remedies. You have to stop. You have to
If
express
she's
that.
on his campus, I don't know about that.
Okay, so you can bring those concerns to me, and that is my responsibility.
I already have.
Okay?
So what's happened is you brought your concerns, you don't like her answer, so you're going to someone else.
No.
That
That's
is
not what
not-
happened. I informed her, and she said it doesn't matter.
And I
And then
said,
2
please
days-
bring me evidence of any concurrent concerns in the school year of unprofessional behavior to you. That's what I said, and I said if you wanted to meet, we could meet. I'm gonna move to the second memo. So this particular memo is looking into concerns with professional relationships with colleagues and the complaints about the colleagues, complaints about working conditions, all of the concerns that have to do with interpersonal relationships with colleagues. My concern is that we haven't moved on from a situation from last year, and it continues to impact people in your current working dynamic, and that would be,
too.
and that would be the LSSP, and that would be the principal and the assistant principal.
Yeah, I know.
So what I want to share here is the directives that you can share concerns with us. We will meet with you. We will respond to you. It may not be the same day, it may be the next day, but you will get a response. We can sit down, we can talk about the issue at hand, which is your concern with a colleague, but we can't, this meeting today is to stop the excessive communication about your concern.
What are you gonna do about my concern?
And that is
Because
that's a
let's just say in
separate
the
meeting.
future something happens, right? Because y'all throw her in my direction. Let's just say something does happen. What are you gonna do? Nothing? Like you're doing nothing now? I'm just curious.
So I'm not sure that I understand the question, but
She
given.
doesn't have any pause button. She doesn't have any regard for
Listen,
children. She doesn't
Priscilla,
care about
today
children.
we are talking about your response to a situation that you're upset about and inappropriate communication
It's
with
not
the wrong
inappropriate.
individuals.
It's not inappropriate. It's his school. You should know everything.
Okay, she's gonna finish this memo, and then like the last one, we'll continue.
Okay.
So when we have issues with colleagues, we're gonna talk through it, and we may have to sit with the colleagues and talk through that. But you are continuing to be frustrated about a situation and not able to move past that. My expectation is that you do your job duties and serve children, irregardless of who you do or don't like. You can't say, I'm not doing a speech pathologist, and you can't direct me to go hire AIM vendors. I don't have permission to do that. Even if I had a position available, it's not your role to tell me who to engage or who you will and won't work with. If you have questions about the memo, I want you to ask them, but today you have not been respectful in your communication, you've been frustrated. And the tone and the volume that you've shared. So I want to be clear when we end the meeting today, that you understand that if we need to meet about concerns, about complaints with colleagues, that you need to come through me first.
You already said that.
Okay.
You're just repeating yourself.
That
Sure,
was a
she's-
rude comment.
She's just making sure you understand. Do you
Yes,
understand?
I
Okay.
understand. That's what you're saying.
Alright, so again, in this memo, you're asked to follow the district standard codes of conduct, that you would comply with these directives, and that by receiving this memo, it doesn't mean that you agree. You can, in both memos, you have opportunity within 10 days to respond to either one of these, to say why you do or don't agree, or what other remedies that you would like. But today, I was concerned about how frequently you were communicating with others who did not have the authority to make decisions regarding this matter.
Okay.
Okay.
Is that it?
So moving forward, is there any questions or anything unclear about her expectations about who to communicate to, when to communicate, and who does not need to be involved? Is there any questions about that?
Just that I want it in writing. I want to know where it says in the bylaws that I'm not allowed to talk about my aggressor who's continuously keeps attacking me, and it's not done. I'm still going through grievance.
We can get you the employee standard, that we don't talk about other employees with other employees,
Absolutely.
only to supervisors. That's an expectation in any workplace.
You already said that. I understand what you're saying.
So today you have the option of signing this document, taking it with you, that you received the document, not that you agree with it, and you have the opportunity within 10 days to write a response. And we can set a subsequent meeting to talk about the actual issue that I think you're concerned about, and we can talk through resolution for that. But today wasn't about the situation, today was about your response to the situation and your communication.
My response, my response, my response is to protect myself in all costs, especially when you have no problem having this person who attacked my daughter and my husband, setting them up because she doesn't want them there. And I'm gonna bring this up next week during my level 3 to let them figure out what is the justifications for her to be in the same working environment when she's the one who caused a hostile environment to begin with.
Okay, so I understand that
She's
you're
the
still
one-
frustrated
yes,
about the
because
situation from last year. I
Because she's
understand.
attacking my family. What gives her the right to do that?
So we can put a date
That's
and time
just
on
crazy.
this, on the calendar now, Ms. Danielson, for us to talk about your concerns with the employee. I am the appropriate person to talk about your concerns. That's not the scope of this meeting. Do you have your calendar with you? Do you wanna schedule time so where we can talk about your concerns? But this meeting is about your communication about the issue.
Well, no one has ever told me in the past that I cannot talk about any of my concerns, especially to the principal. I was never told once that I was not allowed to talk to anyone. So I'm not signing anything until I read everything, and at the same time, I shouldn't have to sign anything because no one ever told me I was not allowed to talk to the principal. In fact, I was told multiple times, go talk to Mr. Deloche. Go talk to Mr. Deloche, don't talk to HR. You need to talk to them first. I even have it in an email. I was like, really? I was like, because last year y'all got upset because I didn't talk to you guys. And now it's reversed again. And you guys keep reversing things and it's very confusing.
So I don't understand since October 8th when I met with you and I outlined the expectations of your supervisor for communication why you're still confused. We had a face-to-face
Because
meeting.
even if I have a supervisor, I still have to report to the principal. I still have to let him know. That was exactly the way it was last year. And the end of last year, you guys said, you know, it what y'all aren't supposed to. It's just, y'all are just confusing. It's just confusing because 1 second you're like, no, because of timeliness, you didn't talk to HR. And then another one, it's like, well, then I started telling you guys my concern. And then you're like, no, Mr. Mays is like, you need to talk to Mr. Deloche. Go talk to him. It's confusing. So I've been trying to talk to him and I didn't want to talk to him. I was like, oh my gosh, because everyone kept throwing his name around at that school. They throw his name around for everything. Mr. Deloche said, you cannot do this. Mr. Deloche said that you're gonna get kicked out of your room if you do this. And I talked to him, he was like, I didn't say that.
So you will collaborate with your campus building administrators, but as your supervisor, we had a discussion October 8th about where to bring your concerns for conflict
And I
need,
did.
for resources.
And I did.
And you continued to talk to Mr. Deloche
And I did.
after October 8th.
I did, I emailed you. I emailed you and I
You emailed
said,
me last week, but you did, and I offered a meeting and I wanted to ask, was there current concerns for unprofessional behavior towards you at Davenport?
I'm trying to prevent a hostile work environment because of what she did to my family. I have all rights to protect myself from a lady who has no problem acting the way she acts.
Okay, so let's do, can you and I schedule an appointment to talk about the work environment and collaboration and your request to continue to work with the occupational therapist? We can schedule a meeting to talk about the issue. Today we are talking about stopping the communication with others. So as soon as we
Yes,
get,
we already said that.
okay, so once that part is done, then we can talk about the issue at hand. So do you have your calendar? Would you like to schedule a meeting? We can meet next week.
My calendar is in my car, so I don't really.
Do you want to email me some dates and times that would be convenient for you, and then we can meet next week to talk about the issue?
Yeah.
I know you had said you're not signing anything, so basically if you were refusing to sign it, we'll just put refusal to sign, because this is not saying, it says in bold, that you are not agreeing to anything that it's saying. It's saying basically, this is signing saying, yes, I received this memo.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna give you another chance. Do you wanna sign saying you are taking this memo home? Not that you agree with it, that you received both memos, and that you can read on both of them. It says it in bold. It's saying, I understand signing does not necessarily indicate that I have an agreement with the content in this memo. It's saying I received it. I received these pieces of paper. You don't have to.
I have to look at it first. Like, this is a lot.
Okay, and that's
And
fine.
I'm not gonna just sign something that I don't even know what it says.
That's okay.
Feel free to take it home, review
Absolutely.
it, and then, if you wanna scan it back to me, that'd be great. And then
Okay.
you also have the opportunity to respond, and then if you would send me some dates that where we can talk about, your concerns regarding the employee and how, you can complete your role as SLP, I'd be very happy to do that.
Okay. Well, let's just talk about it now because I have to say something because my, one of the students, his evaluation is almost due, and I know the LSSP and they're kind of stressed about, getting this done. I don't know how familiar you are with like, yeah,
It's a child with autism and now
Yes.
doing the ADOS, right?
yes. I don't even know if Ms. Adolph is even testing him. I don't even know because he doesn't seem like, you know what I mean? Like he doesn't have occupational needs. So there's no reason for her to test or observe him. Like I would rather do it myself. I would rather help the LSSP because I did this all the last 2 years, right? When I was at Garden Ridge, and I have no problem doing that. But there's no reason for her to even be there. She's not even testing him because I already finished my test. I already tested him.
So what I will do, Mrs. Samuelson, is I will visit with Brooke Simmons as the Director of Psychological Services, and we will talk about the scope of the evaluation and the multidisciplinary team, and she will make a decision about the construction of that team and what it will look like, and I will email you a response. It makes sense that you would complete the speech portion of that evaluation.
Okay. Because I know there's been lots of instances last year where the LSSP and one of the speech language pathologists, it was just them two, and it was never the OT testing the ADOS because she wasn't around. And Ms. Sadoff was part of Danville, and she wouldn't do the ADOS with them because I guess she was busy doing other things. And there was no problem, just the speech language pathologist and the LSSP doing the ADOS together.
And every child is different, and every referral question or re-eval is different, so I don't know if this child needs to be looked at for OT or not, but I'm gonna let Brooke make that call, okay? It seems, I know speech is required to be involved for that, so my recommendation is that you would work with Ms. Trevino on the evaluation for this child, and I'll get Brooke, to look at, can you tell me the student's name so I can look him up?
Yeah, it's Trenton Way.
Is it a re-eval at all?
Kind of, but he hasn't been in school in 3 years, so, he's a new student. It's TRY.
Okay, thank you, that helps. Okay, I'll get you an answer on that, okay?
Okay.
All right, and if you'll send me the dates for an opportunity for us to talk about, the issue of concern.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
It is 9:11 and we'll be ending this meeting.
Me too. How are you? I'm okay. How are you? Not good. I know.
try to say, oh, well, we told you before that I'm your supervisor and you would come to me. And I was like, I did go to you. I emailed you. And you said it didn't matter. And then Ms. Reynolds was like, and then eventually she was like, well, you didn't like her answer, so then you went above her, and then you went and you told other people. And I go, it's his right to know. He's the principal. And they're like, no, he's not part of special ed. He's not part of special ed. That's what they kept saying.
Mm-hmm.
That he's not part of special ed, so no one needs to know. He doesn't need to know that they try to get me to sign it too. I was like, I'm not signing anything. They're like, well, this is just to let you, we just want you to sign it just because it just states in bold that it's not saying that you're in agreement, but that you received this notice.
Mm-hmm.
You received it. And then they try to say I sent an email to Armando Mays about Lindsay Sadoff on this day. I'm like, no. I was like, I emailed you and Armando Mays.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's trying to say that I just emailed him. Like I'm going against her because when I had the meeting with her, she was telling me that she's my supervisor. I'm like, but I didn't just not email you and just emailed like they're trying to say that I just emailed Armando. I'm like, no, I emailed you too. I was like, and you said it didn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
And they just kept saying this meeting is not about Lindsay Sadoff. It's about you not following directives and you talking to other people about the grievance that you had. It's already been, the investigation has already been conducted and it's already done. I was like, no, it's not done. I was like, I still have my level 3 next week.
Well, how'd they respond to that?
Nothing. They didn't care. They were just like, it didn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
They were very ugly. And like I started raising my voice. They're like, you need to calm down. They're like, if you do this again, we're gonna have to table this meeting and blah 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 blah. And because I told them, I was like, what? Like, she attacked my family. Like, why are you going to put her in my area? That makes it a hostile work environment. And they're like, the investigation's already been done, and there's nothing. Everything was completed. There's nothing to indicate that she is trying to do anything to you. I bet you they're gonna try to get me to work with her because they're saying, because she knows about the ADOS assessment that we're supposed to do. And I told her, I go, because the Geneva told me, she said last year her and the LSSP, it would just be them two doing the ADOS together, because the OT she would never go, I guess because she was doing other things, and it was just them two and they were fine with it. But she's saying, I'm gonna leave that up to Brooke Simmons, the LSSP, who doesn't like me,
Mm-hmm.
to make that decision.
So if it's within special ed, why are they getting Brooke Simmons involved?
She's special ed.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
We got more evidence then.
Yeah, but they're gonna force me to work with her.
So when you go into that meeting, you put your phone down and you say, I'm recording this. I am completely 100% against this. And my husband's level 1 grievance, you admitted to going after my daughter and my husband. You admitted it. And now they're forcing me to work with you. This is a hostile work environment, and this is completely uncalled for, and I will be reporting this to the Board of Trustees when I speak to them next week.
And say that to Miss Sadoff?
Yeah, you say it to everyone in the meeting.
Yeah, but then she's gonna be like, oh, you're not supposed to tell anyone. You're not supposed to talk to anyone about this. That's what she's telling me. That's what she's saying over and over and over. She's like, this meeting is not about anything else. It's just about you not talking to anyone. And I told her, I said, where in the bylaws does it state that? I want to see it. She goes, okay, I'll send you the employee handbook. I go, no, I want it highlighted. I want to know where it says that.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, okay, I will. And then she didn't. So now I have to wait for her to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, report everything.
But she's saying I can't talk to the principal. She said and I knew the LSSP was I just had a feeling that she was she's like, you're telling the principal, you're telling Miss Meredith Pappas, you're telling the LSSP, you're sending emails about it. I was like, you're not supposed to talk to anyone. No employee can talk about another employee to other employees.
That doesn't make any sense because that's what everyone's doing to you right now.
That's why they want me to sign it. They want me to sign it saying that I received it. I'm like, I'm not gonna sign anything.
Now, she actually said that no employee should be talking about any other employee to anyone. When you go to the Board of Trustees, state that Ms. Martella stated that no employee should be talking to any other employee about what's going on. But yet I have on a video of them talking about my husband, about targeting him. I've been treated differently ever since everything happened.
Yeah, but they're saying employees.
Okay, Miss Ela Fisher came up to me and threatened me and said, I'm great friends with Miss Schultz, which means people are talking to each other.
Yeah.
So why are these rules only on me and not everyone else? That's discrimination. Just in that one meeting, we have more.
I know, but they're only using it against me. They're not using it against anyone else.
I know. That's called discrimination.
Yeah, but it's gonna be hard to prove because we're gonna have to pull everything together.
Yep. But we also have the audio recording.
Yeah, and they recorded it too.
Good.